Hi. I've spoken with Dr. Baldwin.
And did she tell you how much good it's done Kevin to be treated here?
Well, apparently he's been lucid ever since the morning after he was transferred.
Gee, shouldn't that tell you something?
As a matter of fact, yes, it does. It's time he was sent back to Pentonville.
They're sending me back to the prison infirmary.
I'm sorry. But I think you know that I have to report to Miss Jensen about your condition. In a general way, how could I not say that you were improved?
Gail, you can't let them do this.
I advised against it, Kevin, but the decision rests with the court, not with me.
I'm not going back there. If they try, I'll just...
Your word. Fake catatonia.
If you send Kevin back to prison now, what's the message? The more he improves, the less of a threat he becomes to anyone, the more he'll be penalized?
Dr. Collins is not being punished. He's being charged with a serious crime.
By somebody who's going to refuse to testify against him.
Felicia, I hope that's not true.
What does it take to get through to you?
Give me 1 hour and I'll get an injunction to stay the transfer.
Well, look, you're welcome to try, but this is pretty cut and dried. An emergency brought your client here, and now the time is over.
You realize you're leaving me no choice but to bring charges against you, as we discussed?
Threats do not make good legal arguments, counselor, but I know you're finding those in short supply. Now look, everyone, Felicia may have set this machinery in motion, but it's too late to be stopped now. Now, it will be resolved, but not by arguing and not by accusing. By the grand jury, that's what it's for. Now, I'm just trying to do the duties that I am paid to perform. There is no personal vendetta here.
No one is accusing you of that.
I am, Lucy. You're looking down your nose at me, aren't you, like I'm some sort of emotional creature. I have all these feelings and you don't. You're just doing your duty and you don't feel anything. Well, tell me something. How sane is that, huh? You can look at a man like Kevin, who has suffered so much, and pretend you don't feel anything? That must take a lot of effort. You're trying not to be human, aren't you? You're pretending the whole thing is out of your hands. Well, it's not, is it? You have a choice. You can decide, I will help this hurt, lost man become whole again, and I will help him, or I will not. And I want to know why you're choosing not to. Tell me something, counselor, why?
You have an hour.
I've got to get to the courthouse.
You think you can get that injunction?
I'm not sure. We've made our position clear. We're going to have to move forward now. Are you prepared to do that?
If we have to haul Dara into court, then that's what we have to do. But I'd really like to leave Tom and Felicia out of it.
I'm afraid that's not possible. Miss Jensen can't be charged in connection with a crime unless we show that a crime was committed. I'm sorry. Either we charge Dr. Hardy and Miss Jones with a break-in, or we have no legal strategy.
Well, Kevin is your client. You have to do whatever it is you have to do to defend him, so do it.
If it would help with your credibility in court, I'd be happy to hand in my resignation.
You think I felt sorry for Dr. Collins? I'll be back.
Oh, okay. I don't know what's appropriate here. What do I do? Do I get down on my knees and thank the both of you? Do I apologize for everything? What? I don't know what to say.
You don't like being police commissioner, do you?
Well, what about you? You're willing to do that for Kevin? To not testify like that?
Well, sometimes there's no right thing to do, just the least wrong thing to do. Let's hope it works.
You knew?
Your reaction to the medication wasn't typical of a patient in a catatonic state. It was pretty unlikely that you would have recovered those repressed memories that you told me about.
Seems I was better at fooling people before they caught and stopped me. Where do all those skills go, huh?
Trying to fool me or anyone else is not the way to get well, Kevin.
I think maybe this time it was, Gail.
How so?
You said I was faking it. Well, I was. And I wasn't. I've had patients who've told me how terrified they were of what would happen if they just let go of their grip on themselves or their sanity. They had a sense that there was a real choice that they could make. To stay here in the real world with the rest of us, or to float off somewhere else entirely. Now I understand what they meant. Sanity is like a helium balloon that you hold in one hand, and it's so light. And we're so used to it that we mostly don't even notice it's there. Violence or a shock could force your fist open and away it floats. Nothing we can do about that. But there's an in-between place. A place where you can tease yourself. Loosen your grip ever so slightly and feel the string slide between your fingers almost to the end. That's what I did when the memories started coming back. I could sense that there was a place in my mind that I could go. And that's where I went. Because I knew that was the only way I'd ever get out of that cell. And if I was going to save myself, that's exactly what I had to do.
And call it faking or call it something else, it was really very smart. And it was important. Because you made a choice to survive. It's about time, you know.
I have a long way to go, and I can't get there in that prison infirmary. Yes, I know what happened to Ryan and I when we were kids, but that's not the same as knowing how to live with it.
The cold fact is there are choices that you don't get to make now. If you're sent back, we will find a way to continue.
They didn't do Ryan much good in there, did they? I didn't go through what he went through, but here I am getting the help that he never got.
And you're feeling unworthy. Ryan suffered more. He deserved more. But Kevin, you can't compare one human being's pain with another's. It's too late for Ryan.
If I'm looking at another 20 years in that cell, then maybe too late for me.
You know, there are times when all of us can't see the possibilities in ourselves anymore, when we can't love ourselves. And so we have to let someone else do that for us. Why don't you let Lucy do that for you?
How? The person she loved is who? Not the man sitting in this room right now.
Well, she seems to disagree.
Have you told anyone that I wasn't clinically catatonic when they brought me?
No.
Good. Maybe that'll convince her.